Good morning, friends. Thank you, Pastor Madelyn. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship at Stony Brook. My name is Carol Castillo, and I am very happy to be serving as your worship associate this morning. I would like to offer a special welcome to any of you who are visiting us here or are here with us for the first time today. We are delighted to have you. We look forward to getting to know you. Please plan to stay following the service and join us as our guests for coffee hour after the service, where you'll find lots of friendly people to talk to. I do have a couple of important announcements, and I will also note that there are a few musical changes this morning, so please don't be confused if it's not exactly what you see in your order of service. Okay, our service on January 1st, on New Year's Day, that's going to be all about poetry. Mike Hoffman will be the service leader. The service is going to be built around poems by our members and friends, or our favorite poems. If you would like to read one of your own poems, or a favorite of yours, or if you would like to suggest a poem for Mike to read, please email him by December 20th. That's in 2 days. His email address is in the directory. And secondly, the RE program is asking everyone this year to do holiday giving to community solidarity. You may have noticed the flyers already or seen it in the announcements, but basically people of all ages need coats and blankets of different sizes. There's a receptacle in the lobby for those. New or clean and gently used are fine. We are also filling stockings for children, so pick up a flyer in the foyer or grab a Post-it from the Giving Tree poster that's in the back of the sanctuary. Bring your donations in by this Tuesday. Again, that's 2 days from now, by 5 p.m. And now, please check to be sure that you have silenced your cell phones. Let us enter into the sacred space of worship with the sounding of the morning bell. Please remain silent until the bell can no longer be heard.
Let us enter into this space, made holy by our presence. Let us enter into this hour, made holy by our intention. Let us enter into this season. Let us embrace the darkness and shine the light within. Let us enter in. Let us worship together.
I have asked Debbie Wiggins to light our chalice and our Advent candles and Yule log this morning. And I also invite those who are joining us from home via live stream to also light a candle or chalice as we light ours here in the sanctuary. Our chalice lighting words this morning are taken from Reverend Sharon Wiley. This appears on Worship Web. This solstice day, in honor of ancient traditions that celebrate this time of longest night, we observe that the flaming chalice holds the elements of the four directions: earth, air, fire, water. The lamp oil for earth, the air that feeds the flame, the fire we light, and the chalice itself, the cup, the symbol of water. We light our chalice and reflect on the light we need to guide us through hard times, the light of our shared faith, the light of loving community, the light of love, joy, and hope. Today is the fourth Sunday of Advent. We light all the Advent candles in the wreath for hope, love, joy, and peace. Today is the Sunday that precedes the winter solstice, also known as Yule, which will be on Wednesday night. We'll light the candles in our Yule log as a reminder of the peace of the darkness of the longest night. This evening at sunset will be the beginning of Hanukkah. Jews around the world will light the first candle in the Hanukkah menorah tonight. We will not light it now, as it is Jewish custom only to light the candles at sunset. We do honor this festival of lights today. And now I'll invite you to rise in body or spirit and join in singing our first hymn, number 221, Light One Candle.
Light one candle for the Maccabee children, with thanks that their light didn't die. Light one candle for the pain they endured when their right to exist was denied. Light one candle for the terrible sacrifice justice and freedom demand. And light one candle for the wisdom to know when the peacemaker's time is at hand. Don't let the light go out, it's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out, let it shine through our love and our tears. Don't let the light go out, it's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out, let it shine through our love and our tears. Light one candle for the strength that we need to never become our own foe. And light one candle for those who are suffering the pain we learned so long ago. Light one candle for all we believe in, let anger not tear us apart. And light one candle to bring us together with peace as the song in our hearts. Don't let the light go out, it's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out, let it shine through our love and our tears. Don't let the light go out, it's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out, let it shine through our love and our tears. And what is the memory that's valued so highly? We keep it alive in that flame. What's the commitment to those who have died when we cry out they've not died in vain? Have we come this far, always believing that justice will somehow prevail? This is the burden, this is the promise, and this is why we will not fail. Don't let the light go out, it's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out, let it shine through our love and our tears. Don't let the light go out, it's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out, let it shine through our love and our tears.
So we'll have meditation now. Following the spoken meditation, we'll observe 1 minute of silence, and then we'll be brought out of the silence by meditation in song, and Joanne will lead us. Our song today is number 388 in the gray hymnal, if you want to open that now, Dona nobis pacem. It can be sung as a canon. We'll sing all the parts through one time, and then you pick the part you want to best, that you like best, and sing that, and we'll sing it a few times over. Our spoken meditation this morning is taken from Michelle Obama's new book, The Light We Carry, Overcoming in Uncertain Times. I believe that each of us carries a bit of inner brightness, something entirely unique and individual, a flame that's worth protecting. When we are able to recognize our own light, we become empowered to use it. When we learn to foster what's unique in the people around us, we become better able to build compassionate communities and make meaningful change.
Well, there are so many things going on this week, and who knows what starts tonight? Hanukkah starts tonight. Do we have folks here who celebrate Hanukkah at home? Yeah. We have a Hanukkah menorah, also called a Chanukiah, right here. Menorah, are you ready for a Hebrew lesson? Menorah means lamp. So if you want to get fancy, when you go home later, you can say to somebody in your house, "It's dark in here, could you turn on the menorah?" Because that's what menorah means, it means lamp. But the Hanukkah menorah is special, it's different. If you go into a synagogue, you'll see lots of menorot. That's plural for menorah, menorot. You'll see lots of them with 3 candles on each side and a helper candle, a shamus, in the middle. Shamus is another Hebrew word, it means helper. But the Chanukiah has 8 candles plus the shamus. Why is that? Would you like to know the story of Hanukkah? I will tell you. A long time ago, when the temple in Jerusalem was still standing, there were Greek rulers who had come and taken over the temple. They told the Jews, "You have to put our idols in here." And the Jews said, "No way." And there was lots of fighting, and the Greeks took it over, and you know, they did a terrible thing. They did what we call desecration. They broke things, they made it dirty, and they put unclean animals that Jews were supposed to stay away from, like pigs, in the temple. But there was a family called, their name was Hasmonean, because when we talk about Hanukkah, you've always heard about the Hasmoneans, right? Oh no, maybe you know the name that people called them, the Maccabees. Judah Maccabee. You know what Maccabee means? It means hammer. Judah the hammer. And why were the Maccabees the hammer? Because they said, no, you don't get to run over our temple and our way of life, and they fought. And they fought hard, and they won, and they kicked the Greeks out, and they took over, they got the temple back. Now, if you've ever been to a synagogue, you know that there's an eternal flame, a light that never goes out, that shines near the ark where people keep the Torah. And these days, people usually use electricity, like our lights in here. But what do you think that they used back then? They used oil lamps. So they cleaned up the temple, they got it ready to go, but there was only enough oil to last for one day. And it was going to take 8 days to go and get more oil and bring it back. But they had faith, and they lit that lamp anyway. And how long do you think it stayed lit? The whole 8 days. That's right. The whole 8 days. So now we celebrate Hanukkah to remember that time, to remember why it's important to keep faith, to keep the light burning. And we sang a song about remembering when the peacemaker's time is at hand, right? To remember that we don't need to always fight, that there comes a time when we can rest and sing praises. And so we light the Hanukkah menorah, Chanukiah. Those of us in the Ashkenazi tradition, we start on the first night by lighting 1 candle, and then we add 1. In some traditions, they light 8 on the first night, and they light fewer as it goes on. But in my tradition, we start with 1 and we go to 8, so that on the last night, the whole Hanukkah is lit up. And this is our shamus, our helper candle. So tonight, at home, many of us will light the first candle for Hanukkah. Now, we do other things at Hanukkah too. We eat special foods. We eat special foods that have a lot of oil in them because they taste good. Well, they do, but to help us remember the oil. So we have potato latkes, potato pancakes. Some of us like it with applesauce, and some of us like it with sour cream. Who's team applesauce? Who's team sour cream? A few team sour creams. Either way, they're good. And we play the dreidel game. We spin the dreidel. It has 4 letters on it to remind us a great miracle happened there. And we use like maybe peanuts, or we might play with Hanukkah gelt. And we give out Hanukkah gelt, which is, gelt means gold in Yiddish. It's little coins, but you know what? They're not really gold. What do you suppose is in here? Chocolate. Chocolate. So if you are heading to a classroom this morning, when we sing, I would like you to come up here first and get some Hanukkah gelt. And then you can go to your classrooms. That is the story of Hanukkah. I hope you have a wonderful and joyous 8 nights in the Festival of Lights. And we're going to sing out now and with the Reeb Children's Benediction, which is in the back cover of your hymnal. And you can come forward. I'm going to put my mask back on, and you can come up and get some chocolate.
Our reading this morning is a poem by Padraig Otuma, and appears in his book, In the Shelter. This bio is from the book Jacket. Padraig Otuma is an Irish poet and theologian. Host of On Being's Poetry Unbound podcast, he works to bring poetry and literature into conversation with theology and meaning. From 2014 to 2019, he was the leader of the Corrymeela community, Ireland's oldest peace and reconciliation organization. This poem appears in the chapter, Hello to Trouble. How much does empire cost? Land and language and blood and history and futures and present. How much does resistance cost? Land and language and blood and history and futures and present. How to weigh them both? Land and language and blood and history and futures and present. Hello to the complicated art of living with one another.
Land and language and blood and history and futures and present. Today we've lit lights for peace, but what is peace? We have to be careful when we're talking about peace to recognize when we are furthering the objectives of the oppressor and when we are siding with the oppressed. The prophet Jeremiah, who had precious little peace in his lifetime, if you know anything about the prophet Jeremiah. The prophet Jeremiah admonishes Israel in exile, the community of Israel in exile, and he's blasting false prophets. In chapter 8, verse 11, he says, "They have treated the wound of my people carelessly, saying, 'Peace, peace,' when there is no peace. Peace, peace, when there is no peace, friends." We see that today. We see that with some lawmakers who want to tell us that the Capitol insurrection was, let's just let it go. It's over. No, beloveds, that is not peace. That is an enforced peace of saying, don't make waves. Invaders would happily ask for peace without consequences. Peace. We've invaded and made it all better now. Leave it alone. I wonder if we can think of any place in the world where that might be happening. Peace is not harmony. Peace might include harmony, but peace is not an absence of fighting. Peace is an active thing. Peace is a noun and it is a verb. It is something we have to make. Peace is a thing we must do. So how do we find peace in times of turmoil? We live in tumultuous times, yes? And I'm not even speaking for individuals and private lives. I just mean the greater world that we live in. These are tumultuous times. So what does it mean to work for peace in these times? Does it ever mean fighting? The Maccabees thought so. Do we ever have to fight for the oppressed, with the oppressed? That's not a question I can answer easily. I will say that fighting or not fighting is a decision that individuals have to make in the moment. Passive resistance is powerful. It is powerful and it is dangerous. Sometimes peaceful, passive resistance ends in bloodshed. Sometimes it ends with continued oppression. And sometimes, at great risk, it can be successful in overturning oppression. So I will never tell people, no, you may not fight. No, you cannot fight for the oppressed. But I will say we must consider it carefully because there is always a cost to fighting. There is always a cost. Land and language and blood and history and futures and present. Padraig Ó Tuama is talking about the north of Ireland. And there's now a generation, 2 generations of people who have grown up with nothing but fighting. And what have they lost? Well, land and language and blood and history and futures and present. Futures and present can be lost not just when people die, but when the world is turned upside down, when all you see around you is fighting. When the fighting stops, oftentimes these people don't know what to do with themselves. They don't know how to exist in a world in which there is no fight. That is a cost. And yet, Ó Tuama tells us, what is the cost of oppression? Land and language and blood and history and futures and present. So how do we weigh what is right? And how do we decide what to do? Now, in our meditation this morning, Michelle Obama tells us that we carry an inner brightness. We have to protect that flame, and when we're able to recognize our own light, we become empowered to use it. And then we can spread that. So one of the things we can do is to consider our own inner light. What are your inner gifts? I will use this one, yeah. I think my battery just died. Yes, I will change that. I'll stand here. You know I don't like standing in one place. I'm just going to stand here and talk now. At this time of year, at the confluence of Advent and the winter solstice and Hanukkah, we spend a lot of time thinking about that light, the light in the darkness. Now, the darkness is important. The darkness can be a place of peace and renewal. And any gardeners here? I bet there are gardeners here. I know there's at least, yeah, there are a few gardeners here. What's happening under the ground right now? Seeds and roots are doing the work that they need to do in the darkness and the quiet so that they can bloom in the spring. So let us enter into this darkness and think about the work that we need to do, the renewal that we need to do the work to bloom in the spring or whenever we're needed. The peace that we're talking about, the light of peace that we want to shine, that's true peace. True peace, an end to oppression. How will we build that? What will we do? What groups do we want to partner with? What do we have to give? And how can we share that in the world? Well, what gifts do you have to give? Let me hear some of your ideas. What do we have to give as a congregation and individuals? What can we do?
Love.
Say again? love, we have love. I mean, giving love is huge, right? Showing love, recognizing the humanity and the divinity in each other person that we meet. And remember the love that we're giving from a few weeks ago. We're talking about agape, if we can, right? That unconditional love for humanity around us. What other ways can we show it? What groups do we work with? What else do we want to do? Food pantries. Food pantries. Now, food pantries are important, but I have a question for you. Why do we need food pantries? How can we work? So yes, give to the food pantry and help at the food pantry, and then let's ask, why is this necessary? What can we do so that we don't need food pantries anymore? Political action, that's right, political action. We can write to our politicians and call them and be a thorn in their side. Are you ready to be thorny? We can do that. Working for affordable housing. Maybe somebody here wants to even run for office. Working for affordable housing. Advocating. These are all things we can do. See, you're full of ideas. I knew you would be. That's great. End factory farming. That's an environmental justice issue, right? And that affects everybody. And who ends up being most affected by environmental problems? The poor, exactly. So all of these things intersect. So we can keep doing this. We can make the peace that we want in the world. We can go into the darkness, renew ourselves, and shine our lights in whatever way you shine your light at home. Lighting candles is great, but that is a sign for us, a sign of the light within. What do you need to renew yourselves? Do you need rest? Do you need to come to worship regularly? Oh, I hope you do. Do you need to connect with others? Do those things. Do those things so that we are ready. We are ready not just to shine the light, but to be the light. Say with me, I am the light. Say it again, I am the light. We are the light. And we will make the peace we want to see in the world. Yes? Are you with me? Are you with me? Can we do this? Beloveds, we've got this. Shine your light. Namaste.
Each Sunday, we share our plate offerings with an organization that does work in the world aligned with our principles. This is a spiritual practice. Our shared plate recipient for the month of December is the Unitarian Universalist Service Committee, which is a nonprofit, non-sectarian organization for advancing human rights by working together with an international community of grassroots partners and advocates. The work of the UUFSB began in 1939 when Reverend Waitstill and Martha Sharp took the risk of traveling to Europe to help refugees escape Nazi-occupied countries. Their legacy of work for social justice continues today, 80 years later, with work in crisis response, climate justice advocacy, and Central American migrant justice advocacy. For more information about their many initiatives, check their website at uusc.org. Please give generously to support their work around the world. You may make your gifts on the plate or online. For those online, the link to donate will be in the chat box. The offering will now be gratefully received.
The days are retreating, the night seems to grow. But is the light leaving or letting us go from its glare for a moment so that we can know where our own light can shine on? So is the darkness a curse or a chance to find light? Is the cold something bitter that comes in the night, or a pause in the headlong rush of our lives, and a chance to light fires within? The green has gone south now, the trees are stripped bare. The days are much colder, a chill snaps the air. But is this a hardship or a chance we can share to prove now the warmth of our love? So is a darkness a curse or a chance to find light? Is the cold something bitter that comes in the night, or a pause in the headlong rush of our lives, and a chance to light fires within? Walk on with courage into the dark. There's wisdom that's only found there. So is the darkness a curse or a chance to find light? Is the cold something bitter that comes in the night, or a pause in the headlong rush of our lives, and a chance to light fires within? Now the world's on its journey through space and through time. The sun will return and its golden warmth shine, and the light will rejoin us somewhere down the line, warm and shining all on our own. Is the darkness a curse or a chance to find light? Is the cold something bitter that comes in the night, or a pause in the headlong rush of our lives, and a chance to light fires within? Or a pause in the headlong rush of our lives, and a chance to light fires within?
Is that all right? Yeah, okay. Ooh. Join me now in dedicating our offering. The words are in your order of service. To the work of our faith, which is weaving a tapestry of love and action, we dedicate our lives and these our offerings. Amen. So I'm going to call an audible here. Okay. I'm going to invite you to rise in body or spirit and join in singing hymn number 165, When Windows That Are Black and Cold. But I wonder if we might sing Light One Candle again after that. What do you think? Can we do that? Did you like it? And if we do it again, maybe you'll know it better, because it can be a little tricky. So we're going to sing 165, When Windows That Are Black and Cold. And we'll take a beat, because you got to turn pages, and then we'll sing 221 again. one more time because it's so good.
Light one candle for the Maccabee children, with thanks that their light didn't die. Light one candle for the pain they endured when their right to exist was denied. Light one candle for the terrible sacrifice justice and freedom demand. And light one candle for the wisdom to know when the peacemaker's time is at hand. Don't let the light go out, it's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out, let it shine through our love and our tears. Don't let the light go out, it's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out, let it shine through our love and our tears. Light one candle for the strength that we need to never become our own foe. And light one candle for those who are suffering the pain we learned so long ago. And light one candle for all we believe in, let anger not tear us apart. And light one candle to bring us together with peace as the song in our hearts. Don't let the light go out, it's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out, let it shine through our love and our tears. Don't let the light go out, it's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out, let it shine through our love and our tears. What is the memory that's valued so highly? We keep it alive in that flame. And what's the commitment to those who have died when we cry out they've not died in vain? Have we come this far, always believing that justice will somehow prevail? This is the burden, this is the promise, this is why we will not fail. Don't let the light go out, it's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out, let it shine through our love and our tears. Don't let the light go out, it's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out, let it shine through our love and our tears.
You can stay standing. Beloveds, go in peace, the deep peace of wholeness. Go in peace, go in love, go always in the footsteps of the holy. Go into the dark and shine your light. Amen. And now we extinguish our chalice flame and our Advent flame and our Yule log flame. We're going to extinguish a lot of candles. We extinguish the flame, for our worship has ended and our service begins.
Sleep, my child, and peace attend thee all through the night. Guardian angels, God will send thee all through the night. Soft the drowsy hours are creeping, hill and vale in slumber sleeping, God is loving, vigil keeping all through the night, while the moon her watch is keeping all through the night, while the weary world is sleeping all through the night. O'er thy spirit gently stealing, visions of delight revealing, breathes a pure and holy feeling all through the night. You, my God, a babe of wonder all through the night. Dreams you dream can't break from thunder all through the night. Children's dreams cannot be broken. Life is but a lovely token. Christmas should be softly spoken all through the night.